Welcome back to 5 Minute Lessons. Today we're going to be looking at types of business organization: sole traders, partnerships, private and public limited companies, franchises, and joint ventures. Sole traders, a business owned by one person. Very few legal requirements to set up. The owner must register and send annual accounts to the government tax office. In some countries, the name must be registered. Advantages: there's few legal regulations. You're your own boss. You have complete control. You have the freedom to choose whenever to go on holiday. You have the freedom to choose your hours of work, prices to charge, products and services for. You have close contact with customers. Therefore, you can build great relationships with them. You get to keep all profits, so there's an incentive to work harder. There's no need to provide information publicly. Disadvantages: no one to discuss ideas with. Unlimited liability, which basically means that if you owe anyone money or if you're in debt, you have to use your personal possessions to pay off that debt. There's limited financial capital. If you are ill, the business comes to a halt. It's unincorporated, which means there's no continuity, which means that if there's a death of an owner, the business ceases to trade. Partnerships, a form of a business in which two or more people agree to jointly own a business. A partnership agreement or deed of partnership will be formed. This is the written or legal agreement between partners. It's not essential but recommended and will avoid disputes and reduce arguments. Limited liability partnerships exist as well. These are partnerships with limited liability. This means that if any partnership owes anyone money or is in debt, they don't have to pay using their personal possessions. But most partnerships have unlimited liability. Advantages of partnerships is that they have more capital to be invested into the business, or they can raise more capital. Responsibilities are shared. Both partners are motivated to work hard. Disadvantages: unlimited liability, as we discussed previously. Unincorporated, as we discussed previously as well. This means that there's no separate legal identity. So this means that the owner and the business are one. There can be disagreements and arguments, and profits are to be shared. Private and public limited companies are incorporated businesses that have a separate legal status from their owners. The company is owned by investors known as shareholders, and they hold AGMs or annual general meetings. In AGMs, future objectives of the business will be decided on, and votes will take place on any changes brought forward. Advantages of companies are that shares can be sold to raise finance. In LTDs or private limited companies, shares can be sold to family, friends, and selected people. In PLC or public limited companies, shares can be sold publicly on the stock exchange. They have limited liability, which means if the company is in debt, the owner's personal possessions are not sought to pay off the debt. Instead, the amount they pay is limited to their investment. These are bigger businesses with a better reputation. They have the ability to ask for a larger loan at a cheaper interest rate. When setting up, it's very complicated and expensive. They need to be signed. The Articles of Association and Memorandum of Association need to be signed and agreed on to form the company. There's more regulations. You have to publicize your accounts. There's the issue of diseconomies of scale. So as the company produces more, its average costs increase. And there's also dividend payment. This can be a disadvantage as you are paying it from your profits, but it can be an advantage as it attracts more investors. A business selling their rights to another business, which allows them to sell their branded goods and services, is known as a franchise. The franchisor is the one with the original idea selling their rights, and the franchisee is the one seeking the brand and the rights to use. Advantages to the franchisee include that they now have an established business. This reduces the risk of failure. The franchisor pays for advertising and training. There's fewer decisions to make as it's made centrally. Banks are often willing to lend to an established business. Disadvantages to the franchisee include royalties must now be paid to the franchisor, which is a percentage of the sales or profit. There's less independence. You must follow the model. You must buy products from franchisors' suppliers. Advantages to the franchisor is that expansion happens quick. Management is the responsibility of the franchisee. All items bought from the franchisor. And disadvantages to the franchisor is that one mistake and a reputation can easily be damaged. When two or more businesses agree to start a new project together, this is known as a joint venture. Some advantages of this is that you get to share the costs, capital, risks, and profits. You also get to learn about the local knowledge. Disadvantages is that profits are shared. There can be disagreements, and different countries have different methods and styles and cultures of running a business. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next lesson. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.